Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Carson Brooks, and in this episode we'll talk about job training. Because if you listen to the exit interview and survey episode, this was the episode I'm speaking about that I mentioned. What I realized was that, so one of the reasons why I actually got removed from the department was that the, you know, language barrier. And I understood the situation. But what going through that process, what I realized is that what I would have actually implemented better to actually, because it's a company, what I realized is a company, or it's an industry, I should say, that have a high turnover rate. Because actually, what I think was actually went to another interview after being removed, and I see someone else in the company shirt. That's a, so we so it was someone that maybe retired or was removed as well. And you'd be like what you realized was that you know the the rate of removal is actually high. So it would not be if you listen to my experiences, you realize that I started with a few persons and then eventually a lot of them left. Same Similarly with the when I was just transferred to another department, it started with a few people, and before I was removed, two persons, one of them left, and then one of them was recommended to not come because of the workload. So it's like, so it's like, so for various reasons, you the, the turnover rate. For whatever reason, it could be that they are trying to keep the best of the best. That's one of the reasons. But the next thing is the work. The work is not really the best working environment and such. And then so what I realized was that so it's a company that realized industry that realized on communication. But what what I've learned was that what I would have implemented, and I guess that would be something else that I would implement in business science, would be proper job training for all the aspects that the job entails. So, for example, the com um, the company relies on communication. I would have to actually have, because the training was so quick, I would have a dedicated training as well that works on communication. That basically say you're going through the process to learn what it means to communicate and how to actually do it effectively, voice training, all those stuff. Because if you actually do that, by the time you reach on the phone, start taking calls, boom, you'll be effective. You'll be product experts plus language experts, and then doing that, you're basically, that's something. I guess there's some companies that do that, but the one that I did didn't. So that's one of those things where I realized that okay, what I realized is if you want to build experts at these stuff, you have to actually be able to train them in all aspects, so that, and then not expect them to come in pros, not expect them to come in pros, because that's the shortfall of many companies, expecting them to come in pros. Which that's basically for this episode. I want to make it longer than it's supposed to be. Yeah, so yeah. So with that being said, look forward for the next episode. Mhm. Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb
patreon.com/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
For compensation. Because that's the next aspect of of it. These are semantics, semantics in the sense that I guess what you realize is that what I realize is that the further you go, it, you're working with the same money, money, but it's given to you in different ways. It's given to you in different ways, and it's a way to incentivize incentivize our way to create incentives to do certain things. Like, for example, taxes. Taxes are created to